Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with my good friend, Sara, and
Hi, everyone. We've got the giggles as usual.
I know, because the stuff we talk about beforehand, if you could be a fly on the wall. But anyway, yes, Sara Kajawa, and she has a great Facebook page for those dealing with grief, especially the grief of losing a child. It's doing grief differently with Adam and Sara. I'm sorry, I'm messing everything up.
Okay. You just came from the chiropractor, so you're back in alignment.
Yeah, I'm kind of in alignment, but my chiropractor says, get a massage. When are you getting the massage? You get the massage.
Move that energy out of there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so tense up here. But today we've been wanting to talk. There's been a lot energetically. I can feel it. And I know Sara works with people and she kind of confirmed it. There's been a lot of separation and endings of relationships. And it's kind of important to talk about a few things about it. You know, I'm big on energy and alchemy, and also on, you know, right now what's going on is people are ending things so they can start something new, and it doesn't feel so cute and sweet like that when you're going through it. What have you gotten? Yeah.
No, it doesn't feel, well, nothing feels good when you're resisting a change, right? Because we're all raised, you know, we're best friends forever, or blood sisters, or whatever it is, the relationships. But we're all coming into our own to understand that it's all a vibrational match. So if our vibration is upping a level, sometimes the people around us are rubbing up against us. And then we're realizing our self-worth and know that we need to get on with our life, or they can jump off the wagon or stay on the wagon with you. It's kind of up to you. So I see a lot of shifting, whether they leave temporarily so you can adjust, you know, and do some inner work and kind of some deep cleaning there, and they come back around. Or sometimes, you know, there's a breakup and a new person already comes in, or they've relocated their job or their home. Something has shifted that has just kind of been bubbling up inside them, but they've just almost, I don't want to say they didn't want to admit it to themselves, but they knew something was off somewhere. You just know.
Right.
You just know. Maybe you don't want to admit it, but you know. So we're just on that, like we go to higher timeline of ourselves, and understanding that there is a greater plan that you've put in place that's being orchestrated for your highest and best. It's just when we're not feeling good, we don't look at the higher timeline and further out. We feel the depth of it. And we tend to want to blame ourselves or blame the other.
Which is the same thing, right?
Which is the same thing. The darn mirror ball.
I mean, relationships are a mirror. Yeah, they're a mirror of yourself. But one of the things I want to talk about is like not just marital, but any long-term relationship, sexual relationship, where it's a year or more that you've been with someone. When you separate from someone like this, and I know that some professionals will say you need to stay alone for a year. There's really no timeline that would be proper for everyone. But why I want to talk about why it's important that we take the time alone to heal in between romantic relationships like that. And my part is about the energy, right? The energy, like you're already losing kind of a part of yourself. The time you spent with this person, the person is so connected with you. So you've got to take the time to bring back your energy from that. You heal it. You have to slowly let the person go and bring your energy back in. You know, it's kind of a dance. It could be a dance, it could be a yanking, it can be a let's go to the next one, and I still don't have my energy. And that's why a lot of people, when they get into, which we're not going to talk about here, but very soul connected relationships, have to spend a long time alone because they're pulling all this energy back that they never ever took the time to heal. Right?
Yeah, like pieces of themselves, because they,
like their soul,
they needed to have that person, because that person completed different parts of them. So then they got to pull it in. And then also too, like if it's your breakup, whether it's, a friend breakup or a romantic relationship or work relationship, then you can look and see where, if you keep circulating where you're trying to replay it and fix it in your thoughts, kind of keep recycling it over, trying to make it not, I don't know, trying to change the outcome based on your logical thinking, then you've got like this attachment, if you want to call it a cord or whatever, that you need to cut off because you need to fulfill it on your own. You have to come
absolutely. And you're touching what my short was today.
Not I didn't listen to it.
You kind of touched me because yesterday I kept seeing 999. And so I asked Archangel Michael, and he said, you're seeing this because at the end of cycle. It's the end of a cycle for you, and it's time for you to move forward. And such a weird period of time. It's like, you're celebrating, but you're also like, well, when's it going to start? Instead of, and what today I said, well, how do you properly end the cycle? And the biggest piece of advice is that you kind of clean up and recover energy from where you had it placed because of the bad things that happened in the last cycle, right? So that's kind of what you're talking about. You have to recover your energy, right? Mm-hmm. You have to recover yours. And when people say things about cutting cords or pulling cords, which I think is more helpful if you think you have an energetic cord and you have it pulled all the way out at the root, because, if it's something you don't want with you, let it all the way go.
Because like if you had an argument or disagreement with someone and you still feel you're right and you didn't get to voice your whole opinion, or you didn't get that last jab or whatever, and then your conversation with them ends and your communication, but your mental communication is still going on and you're still replaying that argument where you're the one winning the argument over and over in your thoughts. You keep doing that over and over and over, trying to put it all on them, when it's really, you're missing a piece about yourself, whether it's self-love, whatever, always comes back to that. You
want closure. You want this kind of weird kind of closure that you can't have, because when you really become enlightened about relationships and a relationship that doesn't work, for whatever reason, you have to come to the understanding that you can't make someone. That's the only words I need to say. You cannot make someone. You cannot make someone see your point. You cannot make someone feel, your pain. You cannot make someone understand your point of reference if they are not in the same point of reference, right? We all see things from a different angle.
Yeah, so completely different. And that's why you see the big divide going on still, and it will for a while, until we can see different perspectives, different views, because we all base it on our experiences, how we were raised, everything we've been through. Where one might be a catch for one person and it doesn't mean anything to that person, but it's the next person. But everyone wants to be heard, but you can accept everyone where their viewpoint is if it's not out of anger. So my trigger is obviously anything political or anything like that, because I have no interest. I just don't.
I know.
So there's never, I remember and I get that because I remember growing up and my mom would always say, you never have deep discussions about religion and politics because it's never ending.
It is.
It's never ending because everyone has various opinions based on their experiences, their viewpoint. But you can listen and say, I understand where you're coming from, but this is how I feel, or let me express my view.
I want to share something that I've learned, because I've been, have had to really look at myself and really look at, all relationships are about the relationship with yourself. And I've really gone deep with this. And the thing about it is that anything that you're looking for closure from someone else for, anything that is irking you, is most likely because you don't do that for yourself. Anything that's being mirrored back to you, if someone's treating you a certain way, well, they are so emotionally abusive to me. Well, how are you to you? You really have to examine this, because once you resolve this inside of yourself, once you learn to treat yourself the way you want someone to treat you. I know people teach this all the time, like treat someone else the way you want people to. No, treat yourself the way you want people to treat you. Give yourself the attention that you're seeking from out there. Give yourself the love and the validation that you want someone else to give you. Then it all falls into place. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Sarah says, you channeled really well. Well, I know I did. I know what I got. I know what's right. So this is what I'm saying. It's always the relationship with yourself that's always mirrored outside, right?
You preach it, yes. But when we're in it, we don't recognize that. So you have to be hyper aware and catch yourself, or you got to thump yourself or whatever and go, oh, I'm seeking validation or someone to, tell me I'm worthy or whatever. And that's like, well, I don't feel that way. I don't feel worthy about myself. So of course I want external validation. That's my own stuff from childhood. That's my own stuff. It's not theirs.
It is. And the thing about it is, and stuff even just from regular relationships after childhood that you have not resolved, that you let perpetuate from the childhood wounds. I mean, all of it starts at childhood. Some of it sometimes even starts in another life. Mm-hmm. I'm not like someone who thinks you should look at a lot of past lives unless it's helpful for this life, because it's important to me to stay focused in this life. Right. But I don't know where it's going.
Well, think of it as perpetual, meaning we're eternal, first off. So it is perpetual, but it's like, if you want to continue the perpetual feelings that feel good to you, and if you don't have feel good feelings, kind of investigate them. Where's it coming from? I want inner peace. And I bet it's something external out there. You're blaming it on something else that you can't change anyway. You can't change anything out there. You got to change it inside. And then it kind of, the storm's calm when you change it on the inside. It might still be there, but it's not that hangnail anymore.
Yeah, because just like anything else, it takes practice to get yourself to mastery in that one thing that's coming up all the time. But doing that is what makes you whole again. And when you're whole, you can give to a relationship. You are not a half. We're not a half ever, in any way.
Right. But that goes back to our own core beliefs about ourselves. Everything still goes back to the darn core beliefs. Core beliefs.
I know.
And carried it forward. Yeah.
It's funny because, and I deal a lot with, I work with on many levels, the divine counterpart relationships, which is, your other half, right? But that's one of the relationships where you completely learn, no, I am whole. But the thing about it is, I am whole. You start to understand your wholeness. You start to understand walking with the bigger part of yourself, your higher self. You understand how to move your energy through the earth plane and through the 5D and through the whatever 7D, 9D. And you understand that someone can be your other half, but if they're your other half, you're other whole too, because you're not half. You're never half. You're always whole. And you can't even be with your counterpart until you understand your own wholeness, until you give yourself what you're looking for. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, we're all born whole, and we just kind of like feel less than with everything that we've experienced. So you've got it. And most of us have let it accumulate, or you wouldn't be watching this video probably if you took care of it during that point. But we just didn't have the tools or think it was time worthy, or we didn't know because we were raised, it's your other half, your counterpart or whatever, like you said. So yeah, you got to feel.
But the
whole.
thing about it, is, and we were raised, right, to push it all aside, to put, especially male or masculine energy, men or masculine women or whatever are taught to push it down. But relationships are how we move around. Relationships, not just, sexual ones, but relationships, period, that's how we live, right? They're very important. It's very important to master the relationship of yourself and how you got to where you are, because that's what you will put out into the world and how you will handle everything in your life. You
can observe it with people around you too. And then you can learn even by observing people around. We can see how people treat their pets. You know what I mean? It's easily, and you're like, oh, if it disturbs you, they've got their own stuff they're working on. That's why they're doing that with their pets. You know what I mean? Or their children, it's no different than we're yelling at them or telling them what they can or can't do, or trying to reprimand or trying to make them do something that they're not going to do. They're not going to do.
Yeah, like wear a nice shirt. No, never mind.
Like that with your son. Yeah, like that. They're not going to do it. So you just kind of like roll with it and say, okay, where is this stemming from? Why is this really something important to me? And in the grand scheme of things, is it really that important?
Not really. Yeah. Not really.
Not really. You won't remember it later on down the line. Yeah. You won't remember that.
Remember that time I told you?
Remember that? Remember I told you to wash your hair before school photos? Like it was the most important thing in the world, right? Mm-hmm. So, but we can look at it and go back. Oh, I have that because I remember something that happened to me. It's like school photos. It's a perfect example. Thanks. Remember as a kid, how many times you get your school photos, growing up, and you get them and go, oh my God, why didn't they tell me that my hair was like, it's just like that, or my shirt collar's up or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where now we're in the world of everything is perfect, and they iron all the photos and they touch up everything, and it's a different place. But I can see where my hangups are things that are a reflection of little hurts or things that I went through, and you don't want other people around you to go through that same thing. But to them, it's not. They're on a different page.
Well, and let's talk about this too. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but it's just like, we talk a lot about ancestral healing, right? And sometimes we take on bigger doses than we need to. But most of the time, what happens is, what is ancestral healing? What is ancestral hurt? It is, my mom went through this, that her mom went through, that her mom's mom went through, that none of them took the time to heal. And guess what? It comes to me without even a word. It doesn't ever have to happen to me, because that assault is in my energy field, because that's how the world works. Everything's energy.
It's in your atoms.
It is. Shut up, Adam. You're so always have to be.
It's not, but you don't have to recognize. I mean, we do it and go, I blame it on, my great whatever. But that's how we're all so interconnected. Mm-hmm. We're so intertwined. That person that you witnessed this or this or this, guess what? Somehow you're connected with them. It doesn't have to be the showing up on the 23andMe, that kind of connection, but we're all connected.
So, yeah, and the blame doesn't help, because they didn't know any better. They didn't know how to heal it. That's why they stand next to you while you heal it. Whether you understand that or not, I'm going to put it out there. Whether you know that or not, they are all standing next to. I'm not kidding. Why are you laughing at me?
Because it's going to be 20 years from now. Our kids are going to be going, what you passed on down to me? We're going to go,
wait. So they're all standing there with us. And when we heal that, it ends it. It ends.
But I mean, very, true. But I'm saying there might be things we don't know that we have.
No, that's true. Yeah. I know it'll be
like
smaller things.
Perfect.
We're not perfect, but we are brave, and we are stepping forward to take on these things. So I think there'll be smaller things, and let them be mad. Who cares? They can help. I pushed them out of my body.
Do their work.
Yeah, help out.
But this generation is much more in tune with their feelings and emotions, and are able to express it. Maybe some of them express it but that's okay. It's okay. You can express it all different ways, so you can help the next human.
Absolutely. But these are things. Relationships are so important, and it is self-empowerment, I think, to kind of get yourself straight on where, go. I do a whole self-empowerment class on this. That's a lot of things that I do in that class, and
boundaries it goes coming up too. Yeah. Your boundaries about who do you want? The holidays are approaching, like your boundaries, like, are they an energetic match? Can you want to be around those people for a few hours, or do you make other choices? Kind of figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, I'm
all
gonna send this to
opportunities,
someone.
all opportunities to look at it differently, you know, not from, you know, so way out there spiritually, but to look at it and go, oh, yeah, maybe I don't. Maybe I just want to go for an hour. I really don't want to go and spend, 10 hours with them, but figure that out. There's 2020 was an opportunity for everyone to kind of redo their holidays with people.
Yeah, and cut people. I mean, and cut people out of your life. I'm not even gonna dance around that. It was an opportunity, because you just were looking at what is important to me, and now that's what we're talking about, relationships ending, so that what most of the time we cut a lot of people out of our life because we're ready to heal ourselves. And once you're done healing yourself, people start coming back into your life. It is how it works,
Almost like an upgraded version. Sometimes it's the same for people that come around, because you can appreciate them in a different light. Sometimes you have new people to come in that are just more like-minded and have closer interests, Maybe you were afraid to be out there and meet new people. So it's kind of something you've got to kind of face and look at that too. Because a lot of people say, I don't have, like-minded friends or spiritual friends or groups that I can be myself around. Well, then if you can't be yourself around other people, that's something to kind of self-reflect on. You should be wearing the same hat all the time. That's where we need to be in the world instead of having these secret identities, everywhere. So,
yeah, I think it would help cut down a bunch of disease if we did that. I'm just saying.
I'm thinking about, on the outward appearance, they seem this way, but then you get to know them. Well, that's all the stuff that's coming up across the whole world. That's all this stuff where things, the walls are crumbling and infrastructures are breaking down, is because they're finding out, bad stuff. Not I say bad, but they're not walking the walk. How's that?
Right. Oh yeah.
So that's all going to be coming up more and more purposely, so we can
be in integrity, right?
In integrity.
And in our integrity.
You can wear the same hat all the time. If you're goofy, be goofy all the time. Right, Nanette?
Hey, I knew you were going to do that, just like earlier when you said I was. What did you say? I had no what?
You were assertive. No. Assertive, diplomatic.
No diplomacy.
Oh, diplomacy is what it was. Oh, is the card? Yeah, the card. I'll read it. Messenger of thought. A new topic or intellectual project is really exciting for you. There's so much to learn about how you feel and how you feel ready to move forward. New information may require changes to your plans. Review all your documents carefully. Yes, no, will meet or are someone who loves to learn and share knowledge. This person is brilliant, truthful, but also blunt and not very diplomatic.
What a mirror I am, huh?
You're the part that I wish I were a little bit more. See?
Oh my God.
That yin and yang. So I'm going to pull a card for this topic and see, or for our next topic, whatever we're being guided to go to from here. If we're supposed to go to healing or what? Okay. After we just talked about family, embrace those around you. This is a time of great spiritual growth for you. Make it even more important to surround yourself with those who love and share your beliefs. Be willing to accept help from others. You could find comfort in traditional solutions, or your heart may long to try out new ideas. That's perfect for the holidays.
And for our other idea.
Oh, other ideas. Yeah. Playing around with all kinds of ideas. To try it and don't feel like, don't feel like you failed at something. It's this the commitment part, because we feel that when we commit that we have to follow through, like, I'm going to sign this contract for, sign your life away or whatever. More make it more of an agreement than a contract.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That it? Anything else about relationships?
I guess that's it. Should we do a little healing thing?
Yeah. So just know that there's a bigger plan, and it's all about energy. So if you've got family members that are moved to the side, or friends that you're not connecting with right now, It's okay. It's okay. You just need to be more picky about who you want to hang around with. It doesn't mean that you're less than or more than. You just want to be have a common attraction with your energy.
Yeah, never compare yourself to anyone, because there's always, this is big. This is something that I think helps people. There's always someone that's better looking. There's always someone that can do something better. There's always someone smarter. But are you just that? How about if you look at the fact that you have so many tools in your toolbox? You're not just cute. You're cute and funny. You're cute and funny and smart and interesting, and you like it. Look at that. Stop looking at, oh, well, that person looks better than me, because that's just part of the package. That's all, you know. And so many people put so much into the superficial basket, you know, instead of looking at everything. Yes.
You know, it's like I look
Oh
at
yeah.
and go, oh my gosh, I got my birthday come up. You know what I mean? I never want to look my age. Dang it.
Where does it come from? I know I have this zit thing going on. It's driving me nuts. All right. So let's do some healing. Little healing. You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Try to stay at tones that might translate in the microphone. I'm hoping it worked.
It's very pretty. You know, I got quick visions of just like you being in the, I don't want to say church, but it was the church. Like you're up in the loft singing, or just reverberated around the whole congregation. And I could feel it was like in my upper chakras, like vibrating.
Oh, I love it. That is pretty.
Okay. Do some light language, just like a 1 minute or so light language. Ayamana nani nini kapakaya, ayasana nani nini nina, ayawana kasa nani kitidi diamanana, ayamana kanini namanaya naya naya naya, akwaya na katitida batata, ayamana katidi duyamanaya nini mana, ayamana nini 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 manana, ayakaya tutitia katia katio apatata tidi damanana, ayana anini namanane nengana, akadagari di akamakanekaki. Akatiro akaba ataka wikapitika ayatiatika ata akata ikititi akatita a titi atikabada. Ooh, that felt different.
It did. I felt a lot in the sacral area,
which is also the sexual chakra.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I'm just playing with you.
No, you're not. It's okay. I like that. I like that chakra.
Orange. I have no idea. And maybe someone will put some input on the video and say, where are they? Everyone's going to where it needs to go, what needs to happen,
Yeah.
what needs to translate. That's where it's
because it felt personal to me, and I feel like it'll be personal to everyone. That's what I feel like. Yeah. Which I'll tell you when we're done. Well, we love you all and love yourself. Mwah.